That was awesome. Hey everybody, how's it going? It is Tuesday, February the 23rd, 2010. Sunday night, I went to the Disco Biscuits concert at the Capitol Center for the Arts in Concord, New Hampshire. The show was set to start about 7:30 p.m. and my father and I decided to go to our seats a few minutes early before the show started, but apparently the band got a head start, so they were already playing by the time we got there. And here's some footage. What I think was funny was the mere fact that we were escorted to our seats by the staff. Yet the majority of the fans gathered to the front of the stage and bopped around anyway. I think that's what they call a mosh pit. I'm not certain. What, I'm not in the know? I'm not cool? I'm not hip? There is nothing wrong with enjoying the concert that way, but what's the point of assigning seats? I'm just saying. About 15 minutes later, the band stopped playing and started breaking down their equipment. We were kind of thinking, well, that was fun. Then we thought maybe they were just setting up different equipment thereafter. Maybe they just decided to switch things up a bit. And then it hit us. The band that we saw playing actually wasn't the Disco Biscuits. It was an opening band called the Indobox. I keep forgetting that most great shows have an opening band. The music that came from the Indobox was excellent. I could go for that kind of sound. So we laughed it off, not knowing what the Disco Biscuits looked like. I mean, we thought they were just playing new music. So now we entered the Disco Biscuits. The Disco Biscuits are a jam band that came out of the mid-90s from the University of Pennsylvania. I believe there were 4 people that started the band, and I think the majority of the band is still playing, sans the old drummer, so they got a new drummer. But that was a few years ago. The Disco Biscuits brought together the worlds of jam band music and electronic music to create this transfusion. They basically set the stage for the rave culture. So at the concert, the room darkens and the room explodes with music and ambient light. At which point, everybody within the hall moved and condensed towards the front of the stage, and then they themselves exploded with energy. I was reminded of the Bare Naked Ladies concert that I went to way back in 2001, but the amount of energy inside the Capitol Center for the Arts was way more than the Manchester Verizon Wireless Arena sold out. Here's a clip that I was able to get. With my camera's crappy audio set aside, you have to admit that the music and show was pretty awesome. A few commenters on a previous video said that Disco Biscuits music will change my life. It didn't change my life directly, but it did change the way that I saw myself. Let's just say that the majority of the people in there were between the ages of 18 and 24, and I personally didn't feel like I belonged there. I'm 29. Of course, then again, my father was 50 and he was still going to the concert. But that's pretty much how I felt through my entire life up to this point, is that I didn't belong anywhere. When I was 18, the kids my age went to parties and everything. I was invited, but I didn't feel like that I would work well and mingle well with the people there. I mean, I didn't do drugs or alcohol or anything like that, but everybody else was, so that wasn't my thing. But the real excuse was that my self-esteem was extremely low, and I was just very self-conscious. I mean, even now, I'm still self-conscious. I mean, hell, I'm on YouTube. So over the years, I learned to let go of avoiding people with those types of vices, and realized that I missed out on a lot of great friends and events and just plain awesomeness because of that. But back to the story at hand. So there we were enjoying the music when I'm noticing wisps of smoke entering the atmosphere, and I'm thinking to myself, well, that's not the fog machine's work right there, as I'm getting a contact high from the kid next to me. We were standing up with everybody else, watching the magic happen on the stage and in the crowd. A girl standing behind me put her arm around me and asked, "Why aren't you dancing with the rest of us? Aren't you having a good time?" I was having a good time, but I was up really early that day, so I was kind of drained by the time that the show started. Eventually, the crowd became too congested around us, so we decided to go to the back to get some fresh air. It was about that time when I started getting into the music, like really getting into the music, what with my heart beating with the rhythm and the bass and everything. But I started dancing like a fat man shouldn't. While in the back, I was approached by a man named Pete. He's the first person to recognize me from YouTube. He asked me how I like the show, and I told him I'm really liking it, and it's really great, and he asked me if I was doing the review, and I said I will be doing the review for it. We exchanged high fives like bros normally do, and, you know, continued dancing. What I think is really funny is that Pete came back and reintroduced himself the same way that he did the first time around. So we talked a little bit more about the show, and he danced himself back into the crowd. A short while after, another man came up to me and asked me if I thought that the current show with the Disco Biscuits was much better than the Bare Naked Ladies show that I saw. I told him that there was so much more energy within that hall as opposed to the energy that was in a sold-out arena. Unfortunately, my father and I had to leave early, which was a little bit past 11 o'clock, and the show was still going on, but as we left, we felt we got our money's worth. To make a long story short, the Disco Biscuits show was so awesome that I still felt the effects afterward. My heart was still beating the drums that weren't there. And my hearing was as if I was listening to something underwater. Oh my god, guy, have you not seen the Disco Biscuits concert? It is so awesome, like the lights are flashing and there's like strobing going on. And the lights change colors, man. It was like totally psychedelic. So if you love bands that are like Pink Floyd or the Blue Man Group, you're definitely going to love the Disco Biscuits. I also hear them compared with the String Cheese Incident. So whether you're 18 years old or 50, the walls of judgment, they're broken down. They're not even there. Want to know why? Because everybody's at the show for the same thing, for the same purpose. Everyone's there to have a great time. Here's a little roster of upcoming shows. You might want to book the tickets now while you still can. I'd like to thank everybody for watching this review, and if you want, go ahead, comment, rate the video, subscribe if you feel so inclined. You guys take care, and I will see you next week with another review.
Never had a home like this, and the promise of be careful what you wish. Never had to think twice, always knew my home was in paradise. Never had a home like this, and the promise of be careful what you wish. Never had to think twice, always knew my home was in